guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Nintendo recently held a conference with their investors discussing the future plans of the Nintendo Switch in 2018. And reading between the lines, they might have actually revealed something that they didn't mean to. JT. Nintendo has recently been boasting about how the Switch has become the fastest selling console in US history, selling nearly 5 million units in only 10 months. But it gets better than that. They say in 2018 they're planning on selling 20 million more units. How do they do that? Well, I think they kind of just announced they're making a Switch Mini. On April 14th of 2017, Citigroup predicted Nintendo would release a mini-sized Switch in 2019. And while that typically would make plenty of sense, coming out with a new system version about 2 years after the original system launch, in this case, I actually feel like they're going to be moving it up to this year because of the sales success of the Nintendo Switch combined with the faster than expected decline of the 3DS sales. Right now in 2018 is the perfect opportunity for Nintendo to announce the Nintendo Switch Mini. Speaking with the Kyoto newspaper, president of Nintendo Tatsumi Kimishima said that the company is seeing momentum beyond their expectations and that the pace of sales are beyond what they saw with the Wii. Kimishima also said that Nintendo has projected sales of 14 million more units before the fiscal year ends in March 2018. While Nintendo has sold nearly 5 million Switch units in the US, throughout the entire world they've sold 10 million Switch units in the first 10 months of sales. And typically selling double that the next year of sales is unheard of in a console's life cycle unless there's a major drop in price. And while I don't see the original Nintendo Switch getting a drop in price, I do see the Switch Mini coming in at $199.99, and that will boost sales tremendously. If they're able to make the Switch Mini all in one console without separating the Joy-Cons, making the screen size smaller, making everything smaller and connected all on one device, they'll be able to knock tons of money off the asking price for MSRP. And by lowering the initial price of the sale of the console, they're going to enter in an entire new audience into purchasing this. And while many of you may hear that and say, no man, that's way too soon for a new version of a console to come out, just look at Sony and Microsoft, what they did with the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation Pro, and the Xbox One to the Xbox One S to the Xbox One X. Mid-generation console upgrades are nothing new to the industry. And to me, the only way I see this playing out this year, selling that many consoles, is coming out with another edition. Something that people will not only buy in addition to their original Switch, but give parents the opportunity to buy something at a lower cost for their kids. Something that will replace the 3DS so that these kids will be able to play the newest titles and finally be able to migrate all the 3DS players into Nintendo's newest console. In order to keep up the hype, the company is planning to accelerate the momentum of popularization by launching software that enables new ways of playing. And while it doesn't say hardware, I do read into this a little bit because I think about the 3DS and how it had the Street Pass, and when you went out to play it, it would bump into other 3DSs and connect the players to you. And I always felt like that was missing from the Nintendo Switch. But if Nintendo does come out with the Switch Mini this year, they'd be able to migrate all those 3DS users into the newest platform by selling them the Nintendo Switch Mini. And in addition to just creating a new Nintendo Switch Mini, they'd be able to add some features from the 3DS into it, like the Street Pass feature. All too many times I feel like I have my Nintendo Switch, and while yes, technically it is portable, it's a little bit too big to put in your pocket. If this thing was just a little bit smaller and more self-contained all-in-one, it would be the perfect on-the-go gaming device, especially when you compare it to the size of the 3DS. There's a rumor floating around right now that Nintendo is remaking Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening from the original Game Boy onto the 3DS, similar to what they did with Link to the Past and how they made a sequel to that. With Link's Awakening originally supposed to be coming out for the 3DS, they said it's actually been pushed back to rework a lot of the things they're making for it. And it got me wondering, are they making this for the Nintendo 3DS? Or maybe are they retooling it to have it debut with the Nintendo Switch Mini when that comes out later this year? While I'm not one to speculate normally, it's a lot of fun to think about what Nintendo could do with their future. But one thing's for sure, if they make a Nintendo Switch Mini, I'd be the first one in line to buy it. I feel like that would be an incredible business proposal to continue the line of products that they've been selling to people, and it's a natural progression for the console's future. It's funny because all this time I hear people talking about how they want the Switch to be bigger because it's already too big to really fit in your pocket. So why not make the screen size a little bit bigger, like almost like an iPad tablet size, so that you could play games on a bigger screen? but I want to go the other direction and say, I feel like they're going to make a smaller one of these. Maybe in the future they'll make a bigger one too, but that's the beauty of what Nintendo can do. They can go in so many different directions with this, and I feel like no matter what they do, it's gonna be successful because the system is absolutely incredible. I'd even consider being able to do some things with the Switch Mini if you could remove the Joy-Cons that would be obviously smaller, and switch them to the side like this, and that way you'd be able to play your 3DS games on this, just obviously in 2DS form. But it would be able to be the top screen and the bottom screen, and you'd be able to play your old backwards compatible 3DS games on the Nintendo Switch Mini. Just an idea for Nintendo, but I feel like that would be an awesome direction to go with it. And while it may be a stretch, they could even make it a phone. And I know we've all been talking about the Nintendo phone for what seems like forever. I'll be honest, it's the one company that could make a phone that would make me seriously consider switching from Apple. There's so many things, like I said, that they could do with it that it's incredible the options that are in front of them, and I feel like Nintendo's going to be successful with this no matter what they do. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the direction of what Nintendo's doing and how I feel like the Switch Mini is coming a lot sooner than a lot of you guys think. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think about the Switch Mini, and if it's something you'd even want, or if you think it's a ridiculous idea in the first place. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much again for watching. Have a good one.